But we knew who our enemy was. If you think about our story, nobody from the outside did nothing to nobody.
They rounded up 6 friends. One of them, a 13-year-old girl. They shoved them back into a rear bedroom, made them lie on the floor, and then pumped 25 shots into the backs of their heads and bodies.
I got shot 9 times. I got up off the floor, walked into the bedroom and seen all the bodies on the floor, and I felt guilty, man. I felt like it was my fault, like, damn, man. So I climbed in the bed, put the covers over me, and I just wanted to die, man.
New York City is no stranger to violence. But when a 12-year-old child was kidnapped, law enforcement raced to find the missing boy before it was too late.
You know who they found? I was like, who? She said they found Richard. Alpo killed Rich, placed him up in Orchard Beach. The kidnappers, damn, they killed Rich. We got to kill a little boy and place him in the same area where they find Rich.
Alpo Martinez shot and killed on the streets of Harlem. He was a larger-than-life figure who seemed to defy death.
But it all came to an end for Alpo Martinez right here on the streets of Harlem, right where it all began.
But we knew who our enemy was. If you think about our story, nobody from the outside did nothing to nobody. My sister's boyfriend, Alpo kills Rich. The uncle kidnapped the little boy. All inside job. We knew who our enemy was. We knew who our enemy was.
Now I see it clearly. My whole life is pointed in one direction. I see that now. There never has been any choice for me.
When Poe went over there and got that money with them West Side niggas, got introduced to Azie, this big player, young kid in the game.
I remember it was on 139th Street in 7th Avenue over there by the Wendy's. We used to have the games on Lenox Avenue.
The park over there used to have the game, something like the Rucker. I'm driving through that block, from Lenox to 7th. I see a motorcycle following behind me. I make the right on 145th, make the left, pull in front of the jukebox. The bike, the dude get off the bike, he's behind me. I get out the car, he get off the bike, he greet me, say, yo, I'm Alpo.
So I want to step into him and talk to him like, yo, this is who I am.
So what's good, bro?
And I knew what he was into, and I told him, I said, yo, I'm on the east side, because I started hustling around my mother's way again, too. So I said, yo, I'm on the east side. So he was into the bottles for $10 and all that. I said, yo, can you give me some bottles? All right. This was the powder thing, no crack. This was the powder thing. But he told me to get back with him. So, you know, you tell me that, I'm going to get back with you. So I got back with him. One thing led to another. He wound up hitting me, and I took him to the east side.
Giving him work, and he's like giving him an A for coke, and he taking it to the east side, and he doing what he do.
So I started doing a little something. I was flipping the bottles. It wasn't what I was used to, but my brother he was grinding. He was doing his thing.
That's right.
Waiting for opportunity again.
Always paid me on time, never fucked up my money. He was a real dude.
But the east side, you know, it wasn't really like the west side. It was cool, but the money wasn't there like that around there. They wasn't used to spending $10 on some coke and all that around there. So that wasn't really coming fast enough for me. So I stepped in again. I said, yo, man. I said, yo, put me down with you, man. Let me be a part of your crew. And this is when he had 145th Street. All right. I'm 145th between 7th and 8th, the jukebox.
Now, what happened was some cats robbed the jukebox. Police started rolling in the jukebox heavy. Asking questions. You know, it became really hot. I just didn't want it because I felt it was on fire. And I got up out of there. Alpo, let me get that joint. Let me have it. Fuck that. So Alpo took it.
So what I did was I got with some kids from the area up there. This kid named was Jake. He was pretty known up around that area. And I was like, yo, this is what's happening. I got 45th, I got the jukebox. I'll put you down, and whoever else you put under you, that's on you.
And one day, you know, within 6 months, nigga just blew up. I know Alpo blew off the jukebox. That really put Alpo in the game.
But you know, nothing good ever, nothing like that ever lasts forever. The money started getting kind of low. The kid Jay started getting kind of conniving, and I say conniving as far as, you know, I used to get a lot of little phone calls like, yo, because he used to have this kid down with him named Manny, so I used to get a lot of little phone calls like, yo, Manny had to jump out the cab, and he left 2 bricks in the cab. Police got this, police got that.
When he said, yeah, I was messing with nigga, Big J, 45th Street, had the little black dude down where he was talking about me. Yo, Manny Manny jumped out of the cab and left for a key. Oh, the police ran in Manny's house and took a key. He was talking about me. Me and Poe, we built our relationship and everything, and he always talked to me on the side and everything. Like, I'm the only one able to go to his mother's house when he was living on 105 First in the Drive to get whatever. Jay wasn't even allowed to go there. Only me. When we got in the jukebox, we made 45 to 50,000 a day. Easy.
So, one thing led to another. Little beef started coming.
One problem, our bottles was $20. Poe like, yo, drop the bottles, $15. So we dropped our bottles from 20 to 15. Now we had some people in the block that was serious. I can say that God bless there. He passed away, jail. Jordan Forwellen, the Forwellen brothers, dangerous, vicious. Put a machine gun out on me. And I put my hands up. He said, put your hands down. This ain't no robbery, but it could be a homicide. He said, yo, what Poe trying to do? He trying to run me out of business? He used to work for me on the east side. Tell a nigga Poe, that's I want to see him. So we calls Poe. Poe come. He gets in the van with me. So while I'm driving around 45th Street, telling him what happened, the same guy opened up the door while we was moving slow. He snatched the car door open. And he was telling Poe, like, yo, you used to be with me, man. You trying to play with me? He had the hammer out. Poe kicks the car door more on him. And when Poe kicks the car door on him, he starts shooting in the car. And he shoots Poe in the leg one time. Poe jumps out while I'm still moving. He jumps out, and I watch him. He jumps on a moving cab and start talking Spanish, and the cab took him right off.
So I started losing money. Right. That kind of like faded out. And so again, I started seeing the bigger picture, like, yo, I'm losing money. It's not really worth it to me no more up here.
After the dude shot him, he didn't do nothing? He got off the block? Did he run off the block? Did he stop hustling?
I know this dude. I don't know what people would think. He knows he was a punk, knows talk dude, this and that, and everything, you know what I'm saying? But all his activities came after he left 45th Street. When he went to DC, he turned into something else.
When Rich come home, I know he need a car, so we get that out the way first. And I give him a bird, a whole bird, and Rich know what he doing. He took off running. He back involved.
You see him Monday in the BMW, you see him Tuesday in the Benz, Wednesday in the Porsche.
You hustle hard, you bought everything you had with cash. There was no credit, no loans, no lease. It was typical for us to just ride around with 20, 30,000 in the trunk.
Rich was a real smooth motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Always had the smooth way out instead of wilding out.
Me and Rich, like I said, when he came home after that year in prison, I think it was for a pistol, we hooked up. We became cool, real cool.
We all cool. Alpo, he know Rich, and we rocking, but Alpo working with me. So it was all good. Nobody had no reason for violence or trouble in the 80s, like at that time. So it was all good. You can walk around with 10, 15,000 in your pocket. You can walk around with a medallion on your neck full of diamonds and not have to hide. It was all good. It was just good. Your girl making sure she's right. She got, minks. We pushing European joints. We buying cars like people buy sneakers today. It was nothing. But then the bullshit happened.
2:30 this morning when police in the Bronx were called to the Sagamore Apartments at 167th Street and the Grand Concourse. The caller said a man was shot on the 3rd floor. When the cops got there, the door to apartment 3B was open.
I knew, the cat, Kevin Clark, I knew it was him. I recognized him and tried to talk to him like, yo, Kev, what you doing, man? That's when he flipped out. Don't say my fucking name. You know what I mean? That's when he started barking out, snatched the mask off. I got shot 9 times, twice in the head, one in the neck, one in the shoulder, and the rest was in the leg. My leg got broke from the gunshot wound.
The person that set that situation up was A's sister's boyfriend. I remember when this kid first came home. I remember A buying him a car, giving him some money, putting some money in his pocket.
He didn't get scooped up right after that. I think he was on the run. And he wound up turning himself in somewhere in Philly. He wound up telling on the other 2 cats.
The victims told police about of the Bronx. Well, the cops tracked him down in Pennsylvania. He surrendered on Monday, and they brought him back to our town today.
You got to understand that getting shot 5, 6, 7 times, seeing your life flash in front of your face, amount of money don't mean shit. You know, money don't mean nothing no more. You just want to live.
After I got shot in 87, I'm falling back because, you know, police is on me now.
We do believe that it had something to do with the narcotic.
Cass wasn't trying to hear me, man. Like when I told him, like, them niggas know everything, man. Who's who, what's what. Niggas like, yeah, whatever, man. We gonna still keep getting this money.
Rich ain't shot. Poe ain't shot. You know, these niggas is still wanting to go hard.
One monkey don't stop no show. Too much money coming in, nigga. And the band played on. They keep it going. They making more money than we was making. Alpo going out of town. They into the crack, whatever. And them niggas bringing duffel bags of money in. Rich get with Fritz. Fritz giving them boxes.
I introduced Richard Porter to the block in 1986. Richard Porter, I called him, yo, Rich, I'm home. He said, yo, Reg. Reggie, he ain't like Rambo. He said, I don't like Rambo, I like Reggie Reg. He said, yo, Reg, I'm on my way. Rich drove up in a white M3 BMW, jumped out with the Hail Mary on with the Adidas suit. Yo, what's up? And Fritz was sitting right on the stoop. And this was a classic moment. I always tell everybody this. So Rich said, yo, Reggie Reg, yo, where your man Fritz at? Because I used to tell him stories about Fritz. I said, listen, man, he's right behind me, over my left shoulder, but don't stare at him, just look, that's him. Now Fritz was sitting on the stoop with an old raggedy shirt on, old jeans, and some bummy ass sneakers. Richard Porter looked over my shoulder and said, yo, come on, Reggie Reg, stop playing, hit me in my chest. Yo, stop playing, come on, that bum ass thing. Where your man Rich at? I said, that's him. And he said, oh, incognito. The cocaine that Fritz was giving us was 99.9% pure cocaine. Coke was so pure that when this dude took a hit, and when he took a hit, he started crying. When he took a hit, he said, and the tears started coming out of his eyes. Another guy took a hit, and his nose started crying. And I'm being this nose meat, the cocaine needed some cut on it. People came where the real drugs was at. And mind you, Fritz was such a great help because you couldn't buy that coke. You couldn't even get that. You couldn't get your hands on that. So Fritz was giving you a blessing to give you 50 keys on consignment. And the cocaine was 99.9% pure. So when you could, if you fucked up that money, you just wanted to fuck it up.
I believe that Rich should have never let the uncle see that much in the first place because I always felt like the uncle was that type of dude anyway.
You know how wicked it is, too? It got back to us one time that his uncle was, I'm going to get him one day. He had a real bad bone for Rich in his body or something. I don't know why. Richard never found out why, but, you know, his uncle used to say, I'm going to get him, and I guess he felt...
He said that to you?
No, he said that to somebody.
And Rich didn't follow up on it, you
Yeah, he didn't follow up on it. He just said, you know what? I know he's jealous of me. And that took place with Darnell.
On December 5th, 1989, 12-year-old Darnell Porter was walking to elementary school alone. He never made it to class that day.
The game is so deep that it goes into people's families, that people's families are hurting one another just to get what they can get. For what? For money? For money that you could have got from him? But you jeopardize somebody else's life for this? And you a family member? It's that ugly.
Apple, Rich Porter's uncle, was the one who brought that to my father about kidnapping the little boy. I don't understand why he did that because that's his blood.
But I hear that Preacher didn't co-sign that. He didn't respect that. This is what I heard. But, you know, they had to play it out because it was already involved on the uncle's behalf.
That goes to show how fucked up we was.
Rich was going through a lot of shit around that time. The police had pulled him over and he had like $80,000 in the car. They took the car because the car wasn't in his name. They took the car and the money. They told him, you know, whoever money this is, they can come get it, but they got the clue where they got it. These cops was crooked. If you look up the Dirty 30, these dudes is worse than stick-up kids. They was going around robbing niggas. And if they know you got money, they on you. And this was around the time when the kidnapping that happened with his little brother.
Now, in the midst of that, Fritz come through for Rich, and he give Rich 30 kilos. Get your brother back. He give it to him. This is how real Fritz play. He ain't worried about the money. Take this, get your brother back, bro. The uncle sees this, he hears this, he knows this. So now the uncle, I guess, say, you know what? He comes to Rich with a letter. Yo, the letter reads, we still want the money, the little boy's alright. Come to this phone, I think on 207th and somewhere up in the Dykeman area. Be at this phone booth at such and such time, we're gonna call you and tell you what to do. To my knowledge, I believe this is what Pat told me, that she dressed like a boy and they took her up to the phone. But the uncle there, seeing all this, the phone never rings.
I don't know if you remember the cat you say to Rob.
Yeah, I remember him.
Running with Kevin and them. Yeah, he got at us when that whole thing was going on. He said, look, and I remember where it was at. It was on 156th Street, up by the cab stand. He said, yo, check this out, man. I'm going to tell you what's going on. Future, the uncle, he got something to do with your little brother. But it definitely came back to him that the uncle had something to do with it. That's how wicked the game is, that it'll overflow into that.
It makes family members turn against one another.
Rich got the dirty keys now. He calls on Alpo. Get rid of these for me, bro. Alpo moving out of town. Feds all over New York. Rich can't move right now. Nobody can't do nothing. He giving them to Alpo to take out of town. Alpo kills Rich.
How could you kill something you love, man? That's real confusing to me, man. How could you kill something that love you? You could have did anything, man. It could have been forgotten, man. Forgiven, man. Damn, man. Not that, though. Shit, man.
I see the paper with Rich's brother on the front page. So I pick it up so I can buy it and read it. Because, you know, our brother already told me that the little boy was kidnapped. So I'm reading, and they found Richard. So right then and there, you know, that was my friend too. I got like emotional, you know, because he told me Richard's brother, but Richard wasn't dead at this point. He read the paper. He had me fooled. He reading it and dropped his head like he upset, you know, and I'm like just watching, like I'm getting all teary-eyed and stuff, like damn, they killed Richard. I can't believe this. He went through the whole 9 yards, you know, like he ain't know nothing about it and all.
Got in the car, drove to the block, and when I went to the block was crowded. Everybody on 132nd, like weeping from what everybody has heard about Rich. Block crowded. As I pull up, Alpo pull up. He get out. I heard what happened, crying and shit. And I look at him. He got back in his car, and he left, bro.
Rich was lying to me about something that I felt he had no reason to lie to me about. And in my mind, it told me that if he could let this little bit of money come between what I thought was a beautiful relationship, friendship, then no telling what he would sell me down the line for.
I don't give a fuck, man. You shouldn't have did that to Rich, man. You shouldn't have did it, man. I don't give a fuck, man.
Now, the kidnappers, damn, they killed Rich. We fucked up now. We got to kill a little boy and place him in the same area where they find Rich. In their mind, if they find who killed Rich, they gonna say he killed the little boy too. This is maybe their way of thinking they gonna get off. But, you know, Alpo commits to killing Rich. Preacher wind up getting locked up, and he tells on his whole crew, and they admit to doing that to Donnell.
The kid Apple, Richard's uncle did that to Donnell. He got like 40 years 3 times. And when I mean 3 times, he got to do 40, start the next 40, then start the next 40. And he flipped. They don't talk about that.
That's crazy to me right there. That's like, to me, that's the whole moral to the story. You know, the little kid getting kidnapped and his finger chopped off by, you know, set up and plotted by his own uncle. That's really crazy to me, you know what I mean?
And Donnell was a good little kid, man.
I'm gonna say rest in peace to Donnell on that note. The weird shit about that, around the midst of that time, the song was going on, Black. I was riding on 105th and that First Avenue. He's like, yo, pull up, man. Pull over. They had just left like the studio doing that shit. I'm like, yo, listen to this joint, man. And he listening to it. And I'm seeing like, you know how you can see a nigga going through the song. It's saying you did it if you really listen to the song.
What's happening, brothers? What's happening?
I got something to say to the homeboys from around the way. What's going on? What's going wrong? Knocking each other off word and bond. Stop the violence, must live in peace and silence. I come to solve the problem.
What you talking about, eh?
132 Harlem, torture for crack, 12-year-old kid kidnapped. What's going on, Black?
I don't know for sure, but Rich ain't go out like that.
Yeah, cause he was too clever. He kept the 9 and vest underneath the leather. It had to be someone he know. Yo, hey, you don't know for sure. It could have been Larry, Curly, and Mo. Forget that. It had to be someone he trusts.
And I saw it like in him, like, I should kill this nigga right now, man.
Everything did happen. Everything did happen for a reason, whether it was the right reason or the wrong reason to happen. And like Azie touched on in his tape, everything was pre-written. Everything, God knows all this. God knew how all this was gonna happen. He knew how all this was gonna turn out. We was just a component. The plan. So, I mean, he knew all this was gonna happen, and I just played a part, man. I just played a part in the show. Like Azie said, you know, the people, we ride down the streets and we do this, and the people on the sidewalk was the audience. I played a part. I played a part and again, like I said, whether it was right or wrong, and I'm the first one to admit now, a lot of my decisions, a lot of things that I handled the way I handled them, I don't agree with them now. I could have handled them differently, but who's to say if I would have handled them another way, I would be here.
Alpo Martinez shot and killed on the streets of Harlem. He was a larger-than-life figure who seemed to defy death. Fox 5's Lisa Evers goes over who he was and why he might have had a long list of enemies.
He was one of the city's most notorious drug dealers, famous since the 1980s for his murderous ways and mountains of cash and drugs, immortalized in dozens of rap songs and the movie Paid in Full. But it all came to an end for Alpo Martinez right here on the streets of Harlem, right where it all began.
You live by the sword, you know, as they say, you die by the sword.
Those are the rules of the streets that people live by, and apparently the very rule that Alberto Alpo Martinez died by. Police say Martinez was shot and killed in a hail of bullets during a drive-by early Sunday morning. It happened here on 147th Street and Frederick Douglass Boulevard in Harlem, while Martinez was sitting in his vehicle.
It is a very preliminary investigation. We're looking into all aspects, what the motive may be, including his past.
Those who knew Martinez have mixed feelings, either celebrating the death of a man some call a snitch after he turned on his associates to cut a deal for less prison time. In 2015, he was released from prison after serving more than 20 years for 14 murders. He was entered into the Witness Protection Program, but Martinez did not lay low, often returning to the same streets where his legacy started and ended.
Somebody just, I guess, maybe went out for revenge.
So far, no arrests in the shooting.
After what happened to me, personally speaking, I ain't trust nobody, because that was nasty. You know what I mean? So it made my shit automatically think the nigga closest to you is going to get you. You feel me? So we knew who our enemy was. If you think about our story, if you look into our story, nobody from the outside did nothing to nobody, bro. All that shit was an inside job, bro. My sister's boyfriend, Alpo kills Rich, the uncle kidnapped the little boy. All inside job, bro.